Hey, welcome. Today, we're cracking open the playbook of some of the modern world's biggest titans, Musk, Gates, and Bezos. We're going to go way beyond the headlines to try and find the real blueprint they used to build their world-changing empires. So just to wrap your head around the scale we're talking about, look at this. Combined, their wealth often blows past $500 billion. I mean, that's more than the entire economy of a lot of countries. This isn't just money. It's a force that has literally reshaped entire industries and changed the way we all live. But how on earth did they do it? And that brings us to the big question, right? Is there some kind of hidden blueprint, a repeatable formula that connects all of them? Or was it all just a lightning in a bottle mix of genius, timing, and a whole lot of luck? Well, that's exactly what we're here to figure out. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll size up these three titans. Then, we'll look at the original blueprints for their empires and get inside their heads to understand their mindset. After that, we'll dive into how they hit the accelerator on their wealth. And finally, we'll pull it all together to find the common threads. Okay, let's dive right in. Section 1, Three Titans, One Question. We've got to start with the sheer scale of what these architects have built. I mean, look at these numbers. They're all playing in a totally different league, often swapping the #1 spot for the world's richest person. But here's the thing that really matters. It isn't who's on top today. It's the fact that each of their journeys to get to this peak was incredibly different. Section 2, Blueprints of an Empire. You know, to really understand the empire, you have to go back and look at the original blueprint. So let's dig into their origin stories. Okay, now this is where it gets super interesting. Just look at the contrast here. You've got Jeff Bezos, a guy with a cushy Wall Street job who saw data on internet growth and just dropped everything. Next to him, you have Bill Gates, the classic Harvard dropout who bet the farm on software when everyone else was obsessed with hardware. And then there's Elon Musk, an immigrant with a physics background who from his very first company was already thinking about how to merge the digital world with massive industries like energy and finance. Totally different starting blocks, totally different key insights. Section 3, the billion-dollar mindset. A great idea is one thing, but it's not enough. You need a core philosophy, a mental engine that drives every single decision. Let's break down the unique mindset that powered each of them. For Jeff Bezos, it all boils down to one thing: customer obsession. And this isn't some fluffy mission statement. It's the operating system for Amazon. Think about it. One-click ordering, Prime free shipping. These things seem obvious now, but they were revolutionary. Each one started with the question, what would be an almost ridiculously good experience for the customer? And then they worked backwards from there, no matter how hard the engineering was. Bill Gates played a completely different game. His vision was all about platform dominance. He understood something profound early on. If Microsoft could own the essential operating system, the digital foundation that every computer needed to run, then every other company would have to build on top of his platform. He wasn't just selling a product. He was building the entire digital ecosystem. And then you have Elon Musk's first principles thinking. Honestly, this might be the most radical of all. It means you completely ignore the way things have always been done. So instead of asking, how much does a rocket cost, he asks, okay, what are rockets made of? Aluminum, copper, some other materials? What's the price for those raw materials on the open market? By boiling every problem down to its most fundamental physical truths, he can rebuild from the ground up and just shatter industries that have been stuck for decades. Section 4, Accelerating to Mega Wealth. So a game-changing mindset gets you in the door, but specific financial strategies are how you build this kind of insane mega wealth. Let's look at the financial engine they all used. The single most important concept here is retaining equity. Now, equity is just a fancy word for ownership. While a lot of founders get tempted to sell big chunks of their company early on for cash, these guys understood that the real jaw-dropping wealth comes from owning a significant piece of the pie as it grows from a small startup into a global giant. And this right here, this is the playbook. It's a simple 4-step path. 1, build something people desperately want. 2, hold on to as much of that ownership, that equity, as you possibly can. 3, take the company public to put a real market value on that ownership. But then there's step 4, and this is the absolute masterstroke. Instead of selling their stock and getting hit with a massive tax bill, they borrow against the value of their shares. This gives them millions in cash to live on and reinvest, all while their original ownership stake keeps growing in value, tax-free. It's a masterclass in wealth mechanics. Section 5, the common threads. All right, we've seen how they're different. Now let's bring it all home and distill this down to the blueprint they actually all share. And what's so incredible is that when you strip everything else away, you find these same core principles again and again. Every single one of them had an unwavering long-term vision. They were thinking in decades, not quarters. They all relentlessly plowed profits back into the business to fuel growth. They all maintained extreme ownership, keeping a huge amount of control. They didn't just compete in markets, they created them. And for them, wealth was never about the salary. It was always about leveraging their stock. So if you're looking for that one key takeaway, here it is. There is no single secret trick. It's a powerful combination. It's pairing a revolutionary, world-changing mindset with incredibly rigorous long-term financial discipline. You need the big idea, and you need the financial strategy to back it up. One without the other just doesn't create this kind of impact. And all this leaves us with one final big question for the future, doesn't it? In an age of AI, decentralization, and constant disruption, is this playbook going to become obsolete? Or in a world that's changing faster than ever, will these core principles of long-term vision and extreme ownership actually become even more powerful? Something to think about. Thanks for watching.